Archangel Michael, 5 DNA Programming and Manifestation by Michael Love. Geneticists have discovered that human DNA undergoes an evolutionary jump by activating satellite junk DNA when a person is emitting positive frequencies from the body from a higher state of consciousness. The so-called junk DNA is what codes the entire human genome. All linguistic languages can be mapped from sacred geometry in the flower of life form that visually shows that language is the purest form of vibration, and this vibration is the primary and fastest way to reprogram your DNA. Satellite DNA have actual antennae that are tuned in and listening all the time to what program you input, and it is written into the genome instantly by your language. Satellite DNA receives the words and executes them literally as the code that instructs the genome what action to carry out. Since DNA is multidimensional and holographic, and since time and space have no effect on DNA, it is programmed even by the words not spoken audibly, meaning the sum total of your energetic vibration and via consciousness regardless of all time and space. You speak with your words, but you also speak with your consciousness, and it has a direct connection to what DNA is doing. The words one chooses to say and hear sends a frequency that changes human DNA instantly. There are 64 codons in DNA, and the waves of your emotions, the intent behind decreed words, cause these codons to activate. We only activate 2 emotions, fear and love, and these 2 have different sine waves. Fear is a shorter frequency, but unconditional love has a longer frequency that activates more genetic patterns in your body through activating more codons. That's because the universe functions in simple math, as seen in the number line we all learned in grade school and still learning to try to figure out in life. Stability, nothing forward and nothing backwards. That's why when you say or do a positive thing and then replace it a negative, you get in an emotional quagmire, which means 2 negative always goes into further descent when you say or do something negative to yourself and follow with more negativity. You fall into more of an abyss, which means only 2 positives will amplify and grows as it feeds off each other in unison. This is seen when you do or say something positive to yourself, you feel good and it keeps on going. Here's the kicker. Your brain can't tell the difference if you say or do something negative to yourself or to others, as your brain sees you two as one being. So when you say or do something negative to others, your body still feels the effects of stress, anxiety, and paranoia as if you did it to yourself. A continuation of such negativity starts to create stress and ailments in your body. Living in unconditional love for yourself and others activates the Kundalini source energy within your pineal gland, as displayed in a variety of 6 senses and shown in various spiritual artworks throughout the ages. The funnel torus that looks like a magnetic apple field around your heart is multiple toruses insulated with more of itself and spinning in a circular pattern up to the top, around to the bottom, and back up again like a black hole. The infinity math is looping itself in the space between your DNA strands, and on it goes. This is so because you are an infinite energetic being having a human experience. You are a human being, which means you are in the experience of being a man turning into a hu, which hu means God or divinity. You are the integration of God or goddess in man. Feed your divine energetic self positive, unconditionally loving frequencies in the form of loving. Now hear words. The long speculated 6th sense of human DNA can be activated based on the person's level of spiritual consciousness, according to science, proving that long-held mantras of healing or chanting, as believed by Buddhists, Native Americans, Mayans, and many more ancient chanting traditions, have been accurate. The question now is, what are you saying to yourself and others that's either advancing or stunting your cellular evolution. The choice is yours. The best DNA programming language is called quantum language and is referred to as now here language. Here is simplest and most powerful example of quantum language. I am. As we said above, the more emotional intent behind the spoken word, the more manifestation power one outputs. I am only works from the 5D perspective. The reason this only works from a 5D angle is because if you always use super equals positive, now here language in 3D, the 3D consciousness thinks you are faking yourself out, speaking an untruth or even lying. This is only a perception, of course, but a 3D one. That in 3D consciousness cannot get around it in a quantum way. In 5D, none of this applies because a thing just is, and a thing is taken literally and executed as such regardless. An example of the unprocessable affirmative now here statement from a 3D perspective. I am immortal. This is impossible to the 3D consciousness, so it cannot manifest ever. Here's an example of how 5D quantum language encoding works. Instead of saying, I will become a successful artist, say, I am a successful artist now. One must remember that now and here are the only time and space that exist, and the only place and time a thing can manifest. 5D is a zero energy field, so it is the ultimate now here reality where manifestation works every time without fail. You must add the word now because in 5D, the universal interpreter, the satellite DNA, requires more data than 3D, such as when you will do the thing. Also, the word will tends to push the manifestation into the future. Always know what dimension you are in when you approach a thing, and keep your D's separate as they have no relation to each other in any way. You are the only common thing that exists in all dimensions in the same time space, but the dimensions all have a different set of universal laws that apply. It's important to explore how a thing works in a specific dimension. The best way to test all of this is just to test it. We know that it works every time, all the time, instantly and with zero effort. There is a condition on the zero effort part. After you do the effort energy output part, set the intention, which is 3D work energy output. You must remove all energy and focus from the thing and go do something else super high vibe. The high vibration has a direct effect on how instant the thing manifests. Remember that 5D is a singularity and requires zero energy to do anything. So if you keep your energy, effort, focus on the thing, it suspends all quantum outputs, including the goal, and you get nothing. This would of course include doubt and worry, just like 3D, but if you doubt or worry in 3D, you get the opposite of your goal. Your effort energy in 5D gets in the way and stops the entire universe from doing what it already does naturally. It gives you everything if you are aligned with the way it works. 5D manifestation defies the 3D laws of physics and quantum physics and works totally backwards from the 3D manifestation process, where continued observance energy effort is required to suspend the thing in material form. It is noted that any creative energy applied to the thing desired in any way before or after the manifestation is a 5D matter and is not considered work energy output, but instead energy input, and this fund does not interfere with the 5D manifestation process at all. Godspeed in creating new worlds. Archangel Michael.